Every NFL team has a name, and every name has a story. Some were inspired by wild animals, others by legends, cities, or even random contests. And the logos, from lightning bolts to pirate heads, they're packed with meaning too. So buckle up, because we're breaking down all 32 NFL team names and logos. And trust me, you'll never look at your team the same way again. Let's start with the teams named after animals, because if there's one thing NFL mascots love, it's creatures that can bite, claw, or fly through the air. Chicago Bears. The Bears got their name back in 1922 when they were still tied to the Chicago Cubs, the city's baseball team. Since football players were considered bigger and tougher than baseball players, Bears felt like the natural evolution. It's strong, intimidating, and fits the blue-collar identity of Chicago. As for the logo, it's a bold orange C on a navy blue helmet. It's simple and has barely changed since the 1960s. No bear claws, no cartoon mascot, just a letter. That's how you know a team doesn't need to prove anything. Detroit Lions. When Detroit's football team was founded in 1934, the owners wanted a name that matched the image of courage, strength, and leadership. Lions made sense, not just because of the traits, but because they played in the same division as the Bears and wanted a similar identity. Their logo shows a blue lion mid-leap, aggressive, confident, and streamlined. Over the years, it's been modernized, but the idea has stayed the same, a team ready to pounce. Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles' name came during the Great Depression. The team was founded in 1933, and the name was inspired by the eagle symbol used in the National Recovery Act, a government program designed to lift the country out of economic collapse. The eagle stood for strength, recovery, and unity. Their current logo is an eagle head in profile, and it's full of sharp lines and motion. A cool detail? It's the only NFL logo that faces left, and if you look closely, the feathers on the neck form a subtle E. That's not an accident. Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons' name came from a fan contest, and the winning entry said the Falcon is proud and dignified with great courage and fight. That was enough to make it official in 1966. The logo is sleek, a black falcon with sharp angles, wings spread, and talons out. If you look at the shape, it actually forms the letter F. It's aggressive but clean, which is exactly what the team wanted. Carolina Panthers. When the Panthers were announced as an expansion team in the 90s, the name was chosen by the owner's son, who thought panthers symbolized strength, courage, and elegance. The Black Panther also tied in with the team's chosen color scheme. The logo is a snarling panther in motion, with blue accents to make it pop. It's aggressive but also stylized, matching the team's modern identity. Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have one of the most literary team names in sports. It was chosen in honor of Edgar Allan Poe, who spent much of his life in Baltimore. His famous poem, The Raven, is dark, mysterious, and kind of perfect for football. The current logo features a fierce raven's head with a golden bee on it. It used to be more complex, but now it's cleaner and sharper, with just enough edge to fit Baltimore's attitude. Miami Dolphins. Miami went with the Dolphin because it's fast, smart, and closely tied to the city's identity as a coastal oceanfront town. The team was founded in the 1960s, and at the time, the Dolphin also symbolized a futuristic, space-age kind of energy. Their current logo is a stylized dolphin jumping in front of a sunburst. It used to wear a helmet, literally, but now it's sleeker and more abstract. Still, it's unmistakably Miami. Seattle Seahawks Seahawk isn't actually a real species. It's a nickname for the osprey, a bird of prey found in the Pacific Northwest. When Seattle joined the NFL in 1976, they wanted something regional, powerful, and unique. The logo stands out among all NFL designs. It was heavily inspired by Native American art from the Pacific Coast tribes. With sharp eyes, bold lines, and deep symbolism, the current design pays tribute to the region's roots, while keeping the bird fierce and modern. Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are one of the oldest franchises in the league, and the name dates back to their days in Chicago. The story goes that the team bought some second-hand maroon jerseys, and the owner decided the color looked more like cardinal red. The name stuck. The logo is a red bird's head, angled forward with a determined look. It's simple, iconic, and one of the few logos that hasn't tried to get overly complex or edgy, and it still works. Jacksonville Jaguars. When Jacksonville was awarded a franchise in 1993, they held a fan vote to pick the name. Jaguars won, probably because the Jaguar is fast, powerful, and there was one living at the city's zoo at the time. The logo features a roaring jaguar with teal, gold, and black details. It's aggressive, colorful, and it stands out, just like the team hoped to when they joined the league. These animal-inspired names and logos all carry the same DNA: strength, speed, and identity. But not every NFL team chose to channel the wild. Some turned to history, culture, and the cities they represent. But before we talk about that, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. History-based NFL names San Francisco 49ers. The name 49ers refers to the 1849 California Gold Rush. Thousands of people flooded into San Francisco and the surrounding areas, chasing dreams of striking it rich. It defined the city's identity and gave birth to the team's name. The logo features a simple SF monogram inside a red oval with a black outline. It's clean, historic, and it hasn't changed much because it doesn't need to. The brand is as solid as gold. New England Patriots, originally the Boston Patriots, the team embraced the broader New England name in 1971 to represent the entire region. Patriots honors the Revolutionary War fighters, the people who stood up to the British and helped birth the nation. Their logo, the Flying Elvis, is a stylized patriot head with a red, white, and blue color scheme. It's modern and bold, and while not everyone loved the redesign in the 90s, it's become iconic over time. Pittsburgh Steelers steel was the backbone of Pittsburgh's economy for decades, and when the team changed its name from the Pirates to the Steelers in 1940, it was a perfect fit. Their logo is based on the steel mark symbol created by the American Iron and Steel Institute. It has 3 colored diamonds: yellow for coal, orange for iron ore, and blue for steel scrap. It's one of the few logos on only one side of the helmet, and that uniqueness is part of its identity. Green Bay Packers. The Packers were named after the Indian Packing Company, a meat packing firm that gave them money for uniforms back in 1919. It's a name that stuck and became one of the most iconic in football. Their G logo is a white letter inside a green oval with a yellow trim. It's been around since the 60s and is instantly recognizable. Contrary to what some believe, that G doesn't stand for greatness. It simply stands for Green Bay, Buffalo Bills. The team is named after a previous Buffalo franchise called the Bills, which in turn was named after Buffalo Bill Cody, a Wild West showman. The name was chosen in a fan contest, and it gave Buffalo a unique, memorable identity. The current logo is a blue charging buffalo with a red streak, symbolizing speed and power. It's simple, dynamic, and has become one of the more beloved designs in the league. Tennessee Titans. When the Houston Oilers moved to Tennessee, they needed a new name to match their new home. Titans was chosen because Nashville is known as the Athens of the South, thanks to its classical architecture and focus on education and the arts. The name evokes power, strength, and mythology. The logo features a circle with a T in the center, surrounded by 3 stars, representing Tennessee's 3 regions, with flames trailing behind. It combines history, geography, and a modern edge. New Orleans Saints was chosen as a nod to New Orleans' strong Catholic heritage, and the fact that the franchise was awarded on November 1st, All Saints' Day. The name also ties into the jazz standard When the Saints Go Marching In, which is practically the city's anthem. The fleur-de-lis logo is a historic French symbol closely tied to New Orleans' colonial past. It's elegant, traditional, and deeply embedded in the city's culture. Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings name was chosen in 1960 to reflect the region's large Scandinavian-American population. Minnesota embraced the image of the tough, battle-ready Norse explorer. It was local, bold, and memorable. The logo is a side profile of a blonde Viking warrior with a braided mustache and horned helmet. The purple and gold colors help set it apart, and it's stayed remarkably consistent over time. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay chose Buccaneers in reference to the pirates who once roamed Florida's Gulf Coast in the 1600s. The name gives off a rebellious, fearless tone that fit the team's identity. The current logo is a red pirate flag with a skull and crossed swords on a silver football. It replaced the old Bucco Bruce logo, which featured a winking pirate, a bit too cheerful for modern NFL aesthetics. The new design feels more dangerous and confident. Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders started in Oakland, moved to LA, went back to Oakland, and now play in Las Vegas. But the name has always stayed the same. Raiders came from a 1960 Name the Team contest and stuck because it sounded bold and intimidating. Their logo, a helmeted man with an eye patch and crossed swords, is classic and instantly recognizable. It's aggressive, dark, and iconic, just like the franchise's brand. These teams wear their cities on their sleeves. Literally. Whether it's gold rush miners, revolutionaries, or steelworkers, their names and logos reflect real history and regional identity. But now let's shift to a different group, teams that didn't go the traditional route. The next few names were born from contests, abstract ideas, and creative branding. Some NFL team names weren't picked because of fierce animals or deep local history. Instead, they were chosen to build an identity, a mood, a style, a brand. These are the teams whose names feel more like marketing plays, rooted in speed, symbolism, and strong, memorable visuals. Los Angeles Chargers. The name Chargers has an interesting backstory, and it's a bit of a mystery. One version says team founder Baron Hilton liked the charge a bugle call heard during sporting events and thought the name sounded powerful. Others say it was chosen simply because it sounded energetic, exciting, and fast. There's no deep regional connection. It was always about the vibe. The logo makes that clear. It's a bold, curved lightning bolt, unmistakably fast, sharp, and electric. Over the years, it's been refined to be sleeker and more modern, but the core message has stayed the same. This team is about power and speed. New York Jets. When the franchise rebranded from the Titans of New York in 1963, they wanted a name that matched the era. Jets sounded sleek, modern, and futuristic, fitting for a team that played near LaGuardia Airport and at the dawn of the Jet Age. It wasn't about the region as much as the moment in time. Their logo is minimalist. The word Jets in green, paired with a small football shape and sometimes the letters NY. It's aerodynamic and clean, not flashy, but it carries that 1960s ambition of motion and modernity. New York Giants. The name Giants actually predates the NFL team. It was taken from the old New York baseball team, but it was also meant to symbolize something larger. Greatness, strength, stature. Not literal giants, but giant ambition. Their logo is the simple lowercase NY in blue or white. It's understated but iconic. Unlike many other teams, the Giants didn't go for animals or elaborate symbols. The strength of the brand comes from legacy and identity. When you see that NY, you don't need a mascot to tell you who they are. Indianapolis Colts. The Colts name began in Baltimore in 1953. Where horse racing was a huge part of the city's identity. Colts was a natural fit, young, fast horses bred to run. When the team moved to Indianapolis in 1984, they kept the name because it still worked. Speed, mobility, and tradition. The logo is a blue horseshoe, simple and unmistakable. It's a nod to luck, tradition, and the roots of the name. It's also one of the few logos that's never had to do much. Its simplicity makes it timeless. Tennessee Titans. The Titans name was introduced in 1999 when the Houston Oilers officially became Tennessee's permanent team. Titans was picked because it felt grand, mythological, and powerful. It drew inspiration from Nashville's nickname, Athens of the South, and felt like a name that could grow into a franchise identity. The logo shows a flaming T inside a circular shield, flanked by 3 stars for the 3 regions of Tennessee. It's abstract, intense, and full of symbolism. Everything from the flames to the stars and color scheme was designed to feel strong, bold, and modern. Houston Texans. After the Oilers left for Tennessee, Houston got a new expansion team in 2002. They named it the Texans, which might be the most straightforward name in the NFL. It's not metaphorical or complex. It's about pride in being from Texas. The logo is a bull's head split into red, white, and blue, the colors of both the state and national flags. One of the horns is shaped like a lone star. It's sharp, direct, and loaded with identity. No explanation needed. It says Texas the moment you look at it. Los Angeles Rams. The Rams name actually originated in Cleveland in 1936. It was chosen because the ram is a tough, powerful animal, and because the team's founder was a fan of Fordham University's Rams nickname. It stuck through relocations to LA, St. Louis, and back. The modern logo features stylized ram horns that curve around the helmet with bold yellow and blue colors. The current version adds more motion and visual energy, a move toward modernization while still paying tribute to their origins. Denver Broncos. The Broncos were named through a fan contest in 1960, and it fits the setting perfectly. Denver, the gateway to the Rocky Mountains, had a strong cowboy and frontier identity. Broncos, wild, unbroken horses, made perfect sense. Their logo is a white stallion mid-gallop with a fiery orange mane and aggressive posture. It screams speed, wild energy, and Western spirit. It's one of the most vivid logos in the league and has aged well because it captures both motion and meaning. Dallas Cowboys. Let's start with one of the most iconic names in football, the Dallas Cowboys. When this team joined the NFL in 1960, the owners wanted a name that felt bold and unmistakably Texan. They landed on Cowboys, which instantly tapped into the mythos of the American West. Cowboys represent rugged independence, grit, and frontier strength, and in Texas, that isn't just history, it's identity. It wasn't just a branding choice, it was a declaration of who they were and where they came from. As for the logo, it couldn't be simpler, a blue 5-pointed star, but that star carries weight. It's a direct nod to Texas being the Lone Star State, a symbol of pride, statehood, and independence. And what makes it even more powerful is its longevity. While other teams tweak and reinvent their logos, the Cowboys have barely touched theirs. It's not flashy, it's timeless. And in a league full of helmets, animals, and symbols, that single star might just be the most recognized logo in the entire NFL. Minnesota Vikings. When Minnesota was awarded a franchise in 1961, they wanted a name that honored the people of the region, not just the geography. That's why they chose Vikings. The name directly ties to the state's strong Scandinavian American population, but it wasn't just about ancestry. Vikings represent fearlessness, exploration, and battle-hardened toughness, a perfect identity for a football team. From day one, the name set the tone for a team that would play hard and fight harder. Their logo is equally direct, the side profile of a blonde Viking warrior, complete with braids and a horned helmet. It's not an abstract image, it's a literal face of the team. The color palette, gold and purple, stands out. And while it's been refined slightly over the years, it's mostly stayed true to its original form. That sense of tradition runs deep in Minnesota, and the logo is a perfect visual companion to their heritage-driven name, Washington Commanders. Now this one is more recent, but it carries just as much weight. After retiring their long-standing and controversial former name, Washington went through a multi-year process to rebrand. In 2022, they emerged as the Commanders. The name reflects leadership, order, and the military presence surrounding the nation's capital. It's a name that feels formal and strong, rooted in the idea of command and authority, fitting for a team based in Washington, D.C. The logo is a stylized W, deep burgundy with gold trim. It's clean, symmetrical, and designed to be bold without being loud. But there's also a secondary logo, a round seal, which features stars, dates, and even elements that reflect past championships. The whole rebrand was about giving the franchise a serious, modern identity while trying to build something new that still respected its past. It's not the most historic yet, but it's aiming for long-term credibility. Cincinnati Bengals. When the Bengals were founded in 1968, the owners wanted to pay tribute to a previous pro team from the 1930s, also called the Bengals. It was a respectful nod to local sports history, but the name also gave them a natural identity, the Bengal Tiger. It's a name that evokes speed, power, and aggression. And even though tigers aren't native to Ohio, the branding worked. It gave them a fierce edge right from the start. Their logo has gone through a few stages, but the most recognizable version today is the bold orange B with black tiger stripes running through it. It's not a full animal illustration, but it doesn't need to be. The stripes alone are so visually distinct that you instantly know it's the Bengals. And perhaps the most iconic design choice? Their helmet. No logos, just pure orange with black tiger stripes wrapping around it. It's one of the most unique helmets in football and one of the best examples of letting design do all the talking. And there you have it. Every NFL team name and logo explained. From animals that roar and symbols that strike lightning to tributes rooted in heritage, mythology, geography, and identity, these names and logos aren't just decoration. They're decades of culture, branding, and meaning packed into a few letters or a simple image. So next time you watch an NFL game, remember, that helmet isn't just part of a uniform. It's history. It's character. And for millions of fans, it's home. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more.